is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. This is episode 2 of Get the Health Out. My co-host here, Candy Nielsen, teacher extraordinaire, health coach. Candy, I loved our last week's interview with Amy, and it was just crazy to see the transformation people can make when they get serious about becoming healthy.
It was. I was pretty excited to share her story. She's a really good friend of mine. She's a remarkable person. And just to share her physical transformation and talk about how that changed so much more was a real highlight for me.
And so, we're going to try to switch this up every week. Sometimes we might have a guest on who's gone through, some huge transformation with their health. Sometimes we'll just cover a specific topic. And, you've been doing this for a while. And you said, one of the main things that people don't understand or they don't have a good foundation is understanding the macro habits of health. And I was like, what are you talking about? So before we get into each one individual, maybe just talk about why understanding these macro habits is so important for people when they're looking to change their life and become more healthy.
I can do that. You know what? What I'd like to do, I'd like to talk about something really relatable. When people hear macro habits of health, they think exactly what you said. They think, what? What is that? So let's talk about something that's relatable. And I'm going to put Mike on the spot here just a little bit. But he's a good game player. He can.
I'm
do
okay
this.
with that. I can handle it.
Yeah. I'm wondering anybody out there who's ever been on vacation and had to pack a suitcase. So there's your setting.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess that Mike, you and I pack very differently.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I pack a ton. Like I'm like a girl when it comes to packing, which you might be like a guy. I can see you being like, give me a pair of boots and jeans and I'm good.
Sometimes, but there's probably some viewers out there that are thinking, no way, I've seen her pack. So let's bring it to something that's relatable. Everybody's packed a suitcase before. And some people use strategy and some people don't. But let's just envision packing that suitcase. There are some major components that have to go in that suitcase, right? And I don't know. It sounds like you're a lot like me, where you're going to stuff it all in and sit on the top and zip it up, right?
Right.
Well, those major components that have to go in the suitcase, there's kind of a method to your madness. Once you put what really needs to go in are those really important things that you can't travel without, right? Those are like the rocks, the things that make it all happen for vacation. So I have a question. When you pack your suitcase, do you put the small things in first and put the big things on top? Or do you put the big things in and put the small things around it?
I'll tell you this. I start with the most important thing. I start with the boxers. I'm like, I got to have underwear, I know, on this trip for sure. So I start with underwear and socks. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I start with the basics. Then I do shirts because that's going to be like, what the weather is or where I'm going or what style I want. That's going to then, I guess, evolve my wardrobe from there. So I know I need which maybe was what you're saying is like, you're going to need underwear no matter where you're going. So start with that.
I didn't know it was going to turn into an underwear conversation, but I'm going to relate this back to the macro habits of health. But let's think about this. When you're packing your suitcase, it's really important to put the big stuff in first, the important stuff, right? So for me, it's got to be like your big bag of makeup and your toiletries, and then you're throwing in all the hair stuff and products. And it's a lot easier to put the big stuff in place first. And then you can fill it up with the little things, the micro habits, if that's what you want to talk about.
Okay.
But there are some major pieces that have to be set in place for us to have optimal health or to have a great vacation. And so if you're relating packing a suitcase to macro habits, I am. You're going to put the big pieces in place first. And that's going to lead to the little pieces that come in. And when you put all the pieces of your macro habits, there's 6 of them. When you put those in place, it just makes for an easier packing and it makes for optimal health.
Okay, no, that makes sense, and I'm just trying to relate it to people who might watch more of my content of when it comes to cryptocurrency, you're going to want to make sure you get your Bitcoin and Ethereum first. Start at the top and with the most important things.
Right.
Then once you've had some success, you can start to worry about different altcoins or newer cryptocurrencies, but you want to start with something that's stable that you can build a good foundation on.
I love it because when you make good decisions about the really big things, it's a snowball effect and it just leads to making better decisions about the little things, right?
No, 100% agree.
Yeah.
So, anyone watching right now, if you guys ever want to drop any questions or comments, anything dealing with health, we will try our best to answer them, but would love to hear some feedback about what you guys are thinking. So, let's start with the first one here, Candy. And the first one is habits of healthy weight management. All right. I know obviously we're talking about habits, right? Discipline, things that you're doing and focusing on. Um, but what do you mean by healthy weight management? What does that mean?
I'll dabble in this one just a little bit. When I'm talking about healthy weight management, if you saw the episode last week, we were talking about my friend Amy, who lost 125 pounds. She started to manage her body mass index, which led to bigger and better things for her. And we'll kind of dig into those as we talk about this. I know for me, healthy weight management, we talked about this last week. I just wanted to lose some 10 pounds. I wanted maybe, I'm 45 years old. I wanted some of that baby weight. My kids are 24. I wanted some of that I couldn't exercise off. I wanted it out. And I don't know, I shared my transformation a little bit with you, Michael, but we talked about, that goal of losing 10 pounds. There it is. I just wanted to lose 10 pounds. I wanted to stop wearing sweatshirts and sweatpants. Um, and that led to a 7-pound weight loss in my first week. That was pretty motivating for me. I've maintained that 21-pound weight loss now almost, wow, 24 months. So, and I did that by learning the macro habits of health, putting that all together for optimal health. So there you see someone, that maybe some people might think, what's her weight management problem on the left there? But I can tell you there was one, and that person there on the right, that was taken a couple days ago. She feels great. There's just no comparison. So tackling that healthy weight management is step number one, and I learned how to do that effectively, efficiently, and maintain that.
And like I said last week, you were never like a big or overweight person. Um, but obviously you weren't happy with where you were at. And that could be for multiple reasons. But so I'm assuming you feel better, you look better because you've lost these 21 pounds. But I would imagine it also um, changed a lot of just your brain functions or happiness or your just daily living. Could you speak to that at all? Did you see that transformation as well?
Absolutely. There were some, healthy weight management really just leads to things that you don't even think about. Look at the way I'm dressed in those photos.
Right.
Whether we like it or not, the way we dress sometimes is an outward expression of how we feel on the inside. And waking up every day looking at a closet full of clothes that I wasn't able to put on really led to some challenges here with my mindset, but that changed a lot for me. And I can tell you, I've always been really active, but losing that weight, managing my health really led to being a lot more active. And that's a place you want to be at my age.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the better you feel about yourself, the more active you're going to be, and then it comes to, you can wear these clothes now, you feel confident, and it just really leads to an overall, better life that you're going to be living. So to kind of summarize this, is it really just not looking at pounds and focusing on BMI and other aspects of the weight loss management, essentially?
Absolutely, it
Okay.
is. It's looking at, yourself as a whole, which might lead me to the second macro habit. You're going to manage some healthy weight, but how are you going to do that? You're going to learn some healthy eating and hydration. That's number two. When you can learn to eat healthy, it really helps. That is what plays into your healthy weight management. And wow, is hydration huge? I think it's something we take for granted a little bit. We always hear drink water, drink water, drink water, but let's talk about that. I shoot for. I'm sitting here. I've got the water. What I always leave home without my Capital One card, but I never leave home without my water. That's right. Cheers, Mike. Um, that it really, that is a huge component. So once you can get your healthy weight management under control, you're going to do that with healthy eating and hydration. They live hand in hand. Um, it's just the way things are. Where do you go that you can't buy a bottle of water?
True. And I
So
literally have mine. Like I have people tell me that all the time. Of like, you are one of the people who literally has your water bottle with you all the time. I know people are probably a little bit different, but what is kind of the average recommended water intake a day for kind of the average person?
that's a great question. I get that a lot. So I shoot for at least 64 ounces of water a day, but recommended is just think about half your body weight in ounces of water.
Okay.
That's a very good rule of thumb. There is such a thing as overhydrating, because you want to pair your hydration with your nutrition, your eating habit.
Yeah.
You can't just go with water. But half your body weight in ounces of water is a good rule of thumb.
So that makes sense because I meet with, I go to a holistic medical practice in Grand Rapids, and I met with my doctor last week, and she recommended me doing, I think, 90 ounces a day, which would make
Yeah.
sense with my body weight. I think I'm around 190.
Now we're all doing the math. So,
Yeah. So yeah, no, 90, 180. Yeah. So maybe even 100.
yeah.
Um, and then one thing else I was going to add when going back to the habits of healthy weight management, just from what I know about the program that you do, is you're going to want it if you have a community or a coach helping you.
Yes.
Can you maybe explain how different that is than just the typical person getting on their scale every day and either seeing it staying the same or going up or only losing a few pounds? So how does having the community and the coach behind you help with that healthy weight management piece?
Okay. Well, I wholeheartedly, this is my passion. I believe in it. We talked a little bit last week about why this isn't a diet. It's not.
Right.
It's a health plan. It's something you learn and you institute, you maintain for the rest of your life. Well, think about your famous sports teams. They don't just show up on game day and do whatever they want, right? There's ups and downs. There's good games. There's bad games. There's barriers. There's things that happen. Well, the same is true with your health. When you can partner with people that are like minded, that's where it's at. We're going to talk about surroundings here in a little bit, but partner yourself with a community that believes in what you're doing, has walked the walk with you. Don't do it alone. Have a game plan. And that's where the coaching piece, of surrounding yourself with a community is so much different than all the other plans.
Yeah, no, that's definitely key in anything you're going to be successful with. I talked about it last week, but I'll just try to interject what I know about,
Mhm.
since Candy is the expert here. But when it comes to finances, right, and mindset, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, or you're going to struggle. You need people that you can get excited with, that you
That's
can
right.
fall back on, and that are going to encourage you to continue to do those things. So number three, we have habits of healthy motion, which to
Yes.
me, the layman here, kind of sounds like exercise, but I know you can kind of present it in a different way, because to some people, exercise is a four-letter word.
Yes.
So how would you describe habits of healthy motion?
Well, let's talk about that. It's at different levels. And healthy motion and health in general is, individual. So, for me, 45, healthy motion, when I lost those 21 pounds, even though I was running or working out before, gosh, don't you think that got a little bit easier? you
Right.
know, and and it wasn't my goal, but I can tell you, wow, that became a lot easier for me to do that healthy motion. But there's lots of healthy motion. I work with a lot of people that they just want to go out and walk the dog. They want to feel comfortable enough to do that, healthy enough to do that. Spending time with your grandchildren. I'm not there yet. But I've got enough friends and people that I've worked with, that's their goal. They just want that healthy motion of being able to interact with their grandkids, walk their daughter down the aisle. I mean, these are real conversations I've had with people. So I really invite people to think about what is the healthy motion in your life. It doesn't mean that you have to sign up for a gym. What do they say? Walking is one of the very best things you can do for your body. And almost all of us do that every day, you know? And if we're not walking, we're moving. We've got some movement. So anytime that you can have healthy weight management, put your nutrition in check, pair that with hydration, that healthy motion is going to come. And whether you start out uh, with healthy motion in your life or not, it's going to happen.
And I think back to when we're talking about this, we think back to last week with Amy and how she was able to lose over 100 pounds, and she
Yes.
really didn't do any sort of major exercise. She didn't join a gym. She wasn't on some regimen. It really came down to what we're talking about here, the 6 macro habits of health. Is that accurate, or anything you want to add to that?
Absolutely. I certainly don't want to speak for Amy, but I am her health coach and she is a friend of mine. So I do know, as Amy mentioned last week, I mean, she lives on a lake, and so what did her healthy motion or interaction look like before finding health? Boy, it was pretty limited. And now, I mean, I would even invite you to look at this picture a little closely, look at what she's wearing. She looks like she's ready for healthy movement on the right.
Right.
She's dressing the part, making it happen. I mean, she's getting her body ready for movement, and she's doing that because she's gotten herself to that. She's moving toward that healthy weight management and that eating healthy hydration.
And so some things that I would add, and maybe you can push back on this if you want, but I think people get way into, like, I got to work out for an hour and
Yeah.
go crazy and get this gym membership. And, I remember a guy a few years older than me telling me, listen, if you just spend 15 minutes a day doing something, you're
Mhm.
going to be good for the most part, unless you're like, a competitor or something. But just for guys, maybe it's push-ups. I like getting bands with bars to do different, just whether it's
Right.
shoulders or chest or curls with. That's very simple that you can do at home. Squats are great. So wherever you're at in your, physical exercise journey, don't get in this, well, if I can't go and work out for an hour, I'm just going to do nothing. I mean, even if you're able to do 100 push-ups a day or work up to it, that right there can really transform, where your body's at and what it can do. Is there anything else like that, maybe
Yeah.
you've seen of people that struggle exercising, that here's just a few exercise tips you could do at home other than walking, which, is kind of
Yeah,
basic.
absolutely. I'm pretty keeping it simple. I mean, that's all. Simple is absolutely what it's about. It's got to be manageable, right? But here it is. All you have to do is try one time. Anything. I tell people, can you do one sit up? Do it.
Mhm.
Can you do one push up? Do it. And if tomorrow you can do one more, do it. I think you have to start by starting. And there is no rule of thumb of what you can, where you have to start. You don't have to get on a treadmill. I'm telling you, start with what you have. Um, that that's as simple as it gets right there.
And that reminds me of a post I did this week about just taking the first step. And I said how, I work with people and dealing with mindset and wealth stuff. And it's just like they're so scared to start. They have
Yes.
analysis paralysis. So people will seriously sit there and think about their diet or losing weight or their exercise. They'll like try to plan this out for a month.
Yes.
And then everything has to be perfect, right? So until I have the perfect time to go to the perfect gym and have the perfect set time to go and have the perfect plan in place, I'm just not going to do anything. And people will literally create their personal hell. Like Amy talked about, I waited 19 years to do something that took me 90 days to get started or to, see huge results.
It's like I said, I lost 7 pounds in the first week. I mean, anybody here watching, looking, listening, where do you want to be 7 days from now? All you have to do is take a chance and start. And the last time you did anything perfectly, when was that?
Exactly.
When was that? I would
Right.
like to know. I can't think of something in my life the last time I was perfect at anything. So, I mean, just give it a shot. All you can do is make slower progress than somebody else. It's still progress.
Yeah, and you look back at where most people start, whether it's Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, like they weren't big shots. I mean, you look at some of my first YouTube videos, I look back now and I like cringe at them, whether it was the quality of the video or how I acted or my lighting or whatever, but I had to suck before I could get good.
There you go.
That's the basics of it. And I love that Jesse said here about dancing. I don't know if I started this, but I got big into dance cleaning. That was me.
Whoa.
Put on the headphones. Let's get some dancing, get some cleaning in, and get it going. So if you're stuck at home, there you go. Dance cleaning. My new video comes out next week on it.
I would love to see that. I would.
You got to subscribe. Got to subscribe. It's in the VIP area right now. We'll get you out the release date next week. All right, let's see what's next here. This one might be shorter. Habits of healthy sleep. What's going on here, Candy?
This could be this is the one that I think a lot of people just kind of skip over. They know that you have to manage healthy weight. We know that it's what we put in our body that helps us do that, and the hydration. And we know any kind of motion is great. Dance cleaning is going to be the new thing. But here it is. Sleep. It's important. I don't care if it's 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, anything less than that. I think you're pushing the envelope on. We all live different lifestyles, but let's talk about it. When you can manage healthy weight, when you've got your nutrition and hydration on point, and you're adding motion, movement into your life, you're going to sleep better, And so it's when you're sick, what does the doctor tell you? Rest, Everybody needs rest, and not everybody has to achieve rest the same way. But I'm telling you, it is absolutely a component. I live I think I talked about this last week. I live on a working farm, and right now we are in the middle of calving season. We have little baby calves running around here. And I'm sorry, I don't have a picture for you. I don't wear this outfit out to the barn or anything, but I'm telling you that it requires a little bit of waking up a lot in the night, but that doesn't mean that you can't achieve healthy sleep. You just have to take the moments when you have it. So is it a power nap on your lunch? Do it. I know young moms out there. I just mentioned that my kids are 24, but man, do I remember what that felt like to go without sleep. And all of us do. We know what that feels like. So healthy sleep has got to be a component to optimal health.
Does it matter? Is it important to try to keep it consistent? Like if you're going to bed at 10, try to go to bed at 10, or is it really just the length of the time sleep?
I really like what Alan said, cowboy work ethic. You've got that right. Yep. Everybody needs
he has that for sure.
I'm telling you that, consistency is always key in anything you do, right? consistency is the winner every time. But sometimes you just got to take what you can get. It's kind of like that healthy motion. If you can just catch 15, you got to catch 15. If you're getting 6 hours of sleep, shoot for 6.5 hours. You're just going to do the best you can. But I think to be cognizant that you need it is the step in the right direction.
Yeah, and not anything specific, but Jesse and I talk a lot about doing meditation, doing affirmations. Like even if it's just 10 minutes to sit down and like clear your head is very important, especially with all the stress and anxiety and social media and stuff today. So, making a habit out of that is definitely important. All right, we're almost done here. Habits of a healthy mind. Finally, something I know about, but I'll let you go first, Candy.
Yes. Habits of a healthy mind. It goes without saying. When you can feed your mind positive thoughts, when you can surround yourself with positive influence, it changes everything. How many of you wake up in the morning? I'm currently reading The High Five Habit. It's what you put in your mind that changes your day. I actually stand in front of the mirror in the morning. I mean, you dance clean. I stand in front of a mirror and I high five myself every morning. It seems a little silly. You laugh at yourself the first couple of times, and then you're like, oh, I've got to dance clean the mirror because I just printed it up. But I'm telling you, doing that little action changes what goes on right here. If you can't tell yourself that you matter, you're worth it, you're awesome, and you're going to do it, even though, all of the things that flood our mind in a day, think about how many thoughts we have in a day. I read somewhere, and I can't quote, but I read somewhere that you have 200 thoughts about food a day.
Wow.
Wow. Really? 200 thoughts a day about food? Think about what goes into your mind. So, the things that you feed your mind influence all of the other things. What do you think about before you go to bed?
Mm,
That's in your mind, right? Does it influence your sleep? Absolutely. Um, you know, uh, what you think about, you become.
yes. So that's where I was going to go. I mean, this is right in my wheelhouse. One of the books I am reading now is called The Magic of Thinking Big. Highly recommend it. And I talked a lot this week about um, your thoughts being more powerful than your words. And I
Mm,
was actually talking to a friend, and he said when he's talking to somebody and maybe he disagrees with what they're saying, or he wants to give them recommendations rather than verbalize it to them, which could have a negative thing, he literally just thinks it in his own mind.
hmm,
And that's it. But definitely what you think, you create and you attract. So if you have those negative thoughts in your mind, whether it's I'm overweight, I'm
mhm.
unhealthy, people don't like me, I'm not going to succeed, you know, your brain can't tell the difference between what you're thinking and reality. So when you think those negative thoughts, your brain is creating chemicals that
Yes,
are having an effect on your body and your mind, even though it might not be happening in reality. Your brain cannot tell the difference.
that's
And
right.
that's going to get me into the conscious and the subconscious, and we could be here all night. But we'll leave it there at that with the habits of a healthy mind. And then the last one here, Candy, habits of healthy surroundings. So what do we mean by that when it comes to these six macro habits of health?
Well, gosh, I mean, healthy surroundings, it's not something that you think about when you start thinking about getting healthy, but boy, is it an influencer. It's what you put in front of your face, right? It's what you read. It's the people that you surround yourself with. It's the job that you have, right? Anybody got a 9 to 5 job here? What do you surround yourself with? I think about for me, my surroundings I think of as triggers. What
Mm,
triggers me to have positive thoughts, to get healthy sleep, to eat healthy? What triggers me? Well, I'll tell you, when I get out of work and I come home, my surroundings will trigger my behavior. It used to be normal to open the cupboard and just scavenger hunt through the
right.
cupboard. How many of you just go to the refrigerator, open that thing up, and those are your surroundings? What's in it? You know, think about what's in there. Um, if it's not leading you to optimal health, quit putting it in there. you know, um, I know you can't see the room that I'm in here, but we took the television out of our house. Yeah, we have 4 kids. They freaked out. No lie. They were like, "What happened?" I mean, we had the big TV, but it was really what was I surrounding myself with? And what I surround myself with, I surround the people around me, right? My children, the most important people, right? My spouse. So I had to really think about what I was surrounding myself with because those become good and bad triggers, right?
Mhm.
They give us options. And a good mentor of mine said, options make you dangerous. Well,
Mhm.
there's good danger and bad danger, Will Robinson. You gotta, I know, you gotta think about what you are putting in front of yourself leads to what you put in front of others. And I can tell you that do you surround yourself with where are your gym shoes? Where are the shoes that you might go for a walk in? Are they in the closet? Buried because you aren't surrounding yourself with things that are buried. Put it in front of your face. Put your water bottle in front of your face. Whatever is in front of you and around you becomes you.
No, that's so true. And I think I saw this really a lot with social media stuff, like certain pages you
Yes.
follow on Facebook or YouTube, like if that's not building you up and making you more positive, like those are the things that you care about, right? Where your energy go or where your attention goes, your energy flows. So
Yes.
if you're watching, and it doesn't have to be like something negative, but if you're giving your time and value to that, I mean, it could even be something like sports or fantasy football. And if you follow the bunch of, different pages that do that, you're just constantly seeing that. So now your energy and your attention is going to fantasy football. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but are there other things that are more important that you need to deal with right now than, something like fantasy football?
Yeah. Are your macro habits, are they getting you to the health that you want to be in? you
Right.
know so anybody watching here, if you want to be surrounded by positivity and you want to be surrounded by health, you're going to find me on Facebook and you're going to like it because those are the things that are going to show up and surround you, they're going to create your optimal health. And I take it as a personal mission to put it out there every day because I know there is a day that someone that's watching needs that.
Right.
And
And it's so important to be consistent. And then as you do that, as I do that, we attract those people that are
yes.
looking for that versus, people that are negative or, always looking to put people down. So once you know, once you start acting that way, you're going to attract others that want to act that way as well, which will, of course, just improve your life even more that you're surrounding yourself by even more like-minded, positive people.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's it, kids. The 6 macro habits of health: healthy weight management, healthy eating and hydration, habits of healthy motion, habits of healthy sleep, habits of healthy mind, and habits of healthy surroundings.
Yes.
So this is what we do, what we focus on. Candy being a health coach. So if you guys are more interested about learning about this, how it can help you, whether it's, like we said, like Candy was not overweight. She wasn't, I didn't even think she needed to lose weight, but she thought she did, and she
Yes.
ended up losing 20 pounds. So, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're just looking to lose 10 to 20. Maybe you have a more severe case. We have, personalized plans for people. This is not a one size fits all thing at all.
Yeah.
So the number wherever you're watching is down below. Just text health to that number, and we can get you started on this journey. Candy, any last words you wanted to add?
No, I guess what I really want to say is I am so appreciative for your partnership on this, Mike. It goes right back to what we've just been talking about. I'm surrounding myself with people who want to care about and love the health of other people. And so I'm just inviting anybody who wants that in their life to reach out.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. And I mean, that's what this is about. I've been fortunate enough and blessed from God to get to where I'm at today. And really at this point, it's just about reaching out and helping other people.
Yes.
And health, wealth, and mindset is what I want to focus on. Is when people, see Michael Tharp EDU, they think right away health, wealth, and mindset. And, health was probably one of my weaker areas. So excited to partner with you, as you've already helped so many people just completely transform their life. So guys, we're just going to keep doing that. We are here every week, Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can always watch it on my YouTube channel, and we're going to get Candy one here too. So thank you everyone for participating. Jesse, Alan, you guys rock. And we'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great week. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. March Madness tournament starting. It's going to be 60 degrees tomorrow. Life is amazing, guys. Go out there and crush it. We'll see you guys next week.